I tested Google's Nano Banana on 3 real projects. Here are the case studies we'll be looking at: a profile picture, cartoon colorization, sketch to full painting. We'll also talk about a workflow to help make the outputs more original so you can get the most out of Nano Banana.
This is an example of AI Slop that showed up on Facebook. AI Slop is low-effort, mass-produced AI content that feels like filler rather than something made with intent. It feels cheap, it lacks soul, there may be extra fingers and rendering issues. Here's Nano Banana's attempt at Facebook engagement bait slop. It's slop because it's an attempt at low-effort manipulation that tricks people into likes. So why does slop happen? The main reason for the AI slop plague is that creating images is really easy now with these tools. Before, you had to commission a talented artist, hundreds of dollars minimum. Combine cheap on-demand content with hungry social media algorithms, and it's easy to see why slop is so commonplace. How to escape it? The sampler workflow. The main thing is to care. If the output is actually art, the artist will put in the work that gives it soul. Previously, an idea had to be good, or at least believed to be good, because an artist had to put in the time and effort to implement the idea in reality. Now we've lost that filter. It's a sampler workflow. I'm referring to sampling from electronic music production. Producers sample the environment, or often other tracks, to steal the energy or add uniqueness. I'm referring more to the sampling on Alberto Balsam by Aphex Twin rather than Daft Punk's splicing of disco records. Aphex Twin uses unconventional percussion sampled from household objects like chairs and metal boxes. There's a problem of uniqueness in music production today because everyone is using internet samples, so uniqueness comes from sampling outside the internet, bringing freshness into the art. We can apply sampling to image generation. Nano Banana is trained on internet content, so uniqueness increases dramatically when you input something from outside its bubble. Treating AI as a filter to transform something external produces something new. If you sample from outside the internet, the AI is an amplifier and effects pedal that helps finish work. Here's the first case study. I use it to make my profile pic for my about page and social media profiles. So I started out with this image I put in. The prompt started out, I described what the blog is about, and I asked for an image to use as my profile picture with a solid color background and an impressionistic style like Van Gogh. I actually liked the result, but I kept going anyway, because why not? Let's hit the slot machine a couple more times. So I asked it for alternative versions, Art Nouveau. How do you say that? Art Nouveau. I asked for Art Nouveau and pop art, Warhol style. That's very Warhol style, but it looks cliche. I asked it for one image and to mix the pop art style with an impressionistic style. I got this, which is really bright and it hurts my eyes. I said, the colors are too intense. Try with impressionist Van Gogh meets Studio Ghibli. It put little creatures in my hair. Look at these little guys. That looks like Totoro. We can't have that. I like this one, but the background should be a solid color rather than a landscape. Remove the creatures from the hair. This one just looks washed out, and there's watercolor on the shirt versus the impressionistic texture in the background. I asked for more contrast. This one looks really dark to me, dark. It's kind of sad, and the background is really washed out, so we don't want that. Then I asked, we want a bright background color, think energetic blue or teal. We want to keep the impressionistic vibes through the entire image. The foreground image looks darker. It should be bright. So then we got here, which is the one I kept. My hair never looks this good. It was like a rare picture. Maybe a deeper blue in the background. I love it, but let's try a bit more contrast. And we got this one, which kind of goes back to looking sad. We're happy on this creative blog, so I went with the brighter one. Case study 2, the colorized cartoon. For a creative outlet while building my text-to-speech app Reezy, I drew some Gary Larson-inspired single-panel cartoons for a creative outlet. I wanted to finish them, but I didn't feel like I had the time or willpower to color them myself. I didn't want to release them without color. Color adds so much. The fun for me was in the challenge of drawing the idea, coloring not as much. A few months ago, I searched for a product that could color line drawings with AI. There was nothing good on the internet, but now we have Nano Banana Pro, which handles this use case beautifully. Also, I want to mention I'm not sponsored by Google in any way. I just really think this is a really good image model. and it allows us to iterate together with the AI for the first time. You know, guys, it's really hard to make a single panel cartoon funny. That's what I learned from making these. My first prompt was too simple: color and improve this cartoon. The result had flat colors, no texture, and the model changed details I wanted preserved. The full moon became a crescent. The wolf has extra eyes. The image on the wall was an Easter egg to the far side, and it erased the guy on the island. It broke my Easter egg. Yeah, that looks bad. The final detail problem. This is the biggest problem with using Nano Banana. Steering it can feel higher level than you actually want. In this image, there's a cartoon within the cartoon, an Easter egg on the wall showing a man stranded on an island, writing a message in a bottle that is smashed by a falling coconut. The model kept bungling this. There's no man on that island. Then I asked it, bring the guy back. It gave me a second island with a smashed bottle and half a coconut. The coconut also needs whoosh lines above it, like it fell from the tree. It obviously is not connecting that the bottle should be under the coconut. The whoosh lines you made is too much, remove them. The smashed bottle in the image should be under the coconut. The coconut needs some impact lines or some way in the art to show it fell from the tree. We have this little cloud thing above the guy's head. Makes no sense. This is freaking great. That's perfect. It's just in the wrong spot. As you can see, the model has trouble understanding smaller details and specific parts of the image. Edits is still difficult for image models. However, Nano Banana handled face expressions well. For the man's nervous look, I think it's probably trained on a lot of faces. I would say this is definitely an improvement on what I gave it. The bottle's still a little further. This is where you might want to use like post-processing, like some Adobe tool, Photoshop, or if you like open source like me, you can use GIMP to move that. Here's the last case study. Case study 3, the burning bush sketch. This case study tested going from a low fidelity sketch to a high fidelity painting. This is really just a scribble. I did this in Procreate, guys. Procreate is the best drawing app ever. So first attempt, I want you to finish and paint this image, Moses in front of the burning bush. It should be nighttime with a starry sky and the fire should be glowing bright. Stay true to the sketch, but we want vivid colors. The first version is surprisingly good, given how sparse my sketch was. I kept my root structure, added a beautiful starry sky, and made Moses more realistic while preserving the kneeling pose. The downside is that it lost some of the style of Moses with his booty in the air. This one, it's regular human proportions. That's boring. Sometimes the first generation is a keeper. Here are some refinements. I tried to make the sky more psychedelic. I tried the watercolor psychedelic sky. I don't know, it looks all right, but it washed out the image too much. I wanted some of the vividness back, but it messed up the sky. I asked for like a Van Gogh impressionistic version. It just gave me Starry Night. Obviously, it's seen that in the training data. I said maybe the impressionistic brushstroke should come across in the fire. There's also way too much texture and detail in the sand. We want it to be more minimalistic. Maybe like Rene, Monet. When you use that talk feature, sometimes it interprets what you're trying to say. I'm learning in this stream, talking is hard. Speaking, pronunciating words is hard. This is probably really good for my friends who don't understand what the hell I'm saying because it's hard to speak words. This version was like another impressionistic version. The fire looks impressionistic. That's like arguably cooler. I like the texture, but the sky just looks really bad. It oversimplified. The fire should be bigger to the point where you can't really see much of the sky. It should be like a really bright, terrifying fire. And that gave me a good result. I said, this is great, but I want more contrast between the fire and everything else. We got there. Was actually pretty impressed that the model one-shotted this pretty well, just from a real simple sketch. So the takeaway, Nano Banana Pro is the best imager model I've ever used. AI image generation is moving past the uncanny valley and becoming a genuine creative collaborator. The sampling workflow is a winner. It's really great that models are becoming more collaborative so they can amplify the creative ideas of artists. There are still limitations. Translating English into precise rendering details can be crude. Fine-tuning small parts of the image isn't accurate. You may need to add post-processing in Photoshop or GIMP to move pixels exactly where you want them for the final polish. To recap, here's the full workflow. Start with an idea that matters, sample from the real world, iterate, and post-process or polish. Happy prompting. Thanks for watching.